Ladies and gents, welcome to the first ever episode of the YachtMaster. You join me on the south coast of Spain in Calpino, where in fact along this coast I started my yachting career 20 years ago. In today's episode we're on board this Rinker 27 called Lawsea. We're going to be hopefully improving Lee, who is the owner, and Reese, who is his son, improving their skills, their handling ability, their maneuvering. So guys, let's get on board straight away, go and meet them. We'll see where their level's at, and hopefully we can teach them a thing or two. Let's get on board. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Lee. This is his son Reese. Guys, welcome. First of all, thank you both for having us on this YachtMaster series. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Give us a little bit of a background about your boating history, how long you've had the boat for, and your plans moving forward in boating as well.
Okay, so my boating history was from very young. Where in England we have a place called the Norfolk Broads. So this is where I fell in love with boating as a young lad. I went with my father driving around. Then my first ever boat was a 40-foot traditional wooden boat.
We're delighted to announce that this series has been brought to you by Aquabanners. Aquabanners are redefining water entertainment with luxury modular inflatables for yachts, resorts, and luxury waterfronts worldwide. Using the finest materials available, Aquabanners designs ultimate inflatable yacht marina systems to fit yachts of all sizes with tables, seatings, slides, climbing walls, and room to park all the water toys. Picking your colors and adding your logo creates you a bespoke inflatable system that gets noticed. Optional Pantone color matching of the materials is available to give you the ultimate in a custom finish. Contact Aquabanners today about their resort and day club packages that can easily put up to 100 people on your waterfront, thereby creating unforgettable memories. Thanks again to Aquabanners for powering the YachtMaster.
Which was a good boat. I liked the boat. It was just the maintenance of it was so much. You'd work every weekend painting and making it look good. And then I had a little bayliner, which I used and had many days of fun on it. And then I moved up to this little baby. And this is the one that I have now, and which I've had for about 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where would you say your boating ability is at on a scale between 1 and 10? Be honest with yourself.
I know my answer.
Yeah, I'm adequate.
Okay.
I haven't sunk the boat yet, so I think that's a good start. My thing is I panic.
Okay.
Because this is a light boat, and you can see today the wind is picking up.
Picking up already, yeah.
I am getting ready for, oh my God, that's not working. But I've learned that I'm trying not to panic. So if it doesn't work, I need to stop, go out, start again. But it doesn't go right every time, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. So you're basically today hoping that I can just improve your skills, keep you calm.
Yeah.
Not panic.
If I get something wrong, I'm hoping that you say, rightly, you got this wrong. This is how to. And if you tell me and I muck up, then it's your fault. I'm okay.
Reese, yourself? Tell us about your boating, your extreme boating history.
Yes, it's very limited. I've probably just practiced with my dad a few times. And that's pretty much it.
That's it. Right.
It's very limited.
So you got the 350 mag MPI. God, I used to work these engines all the time at Marine
300 brake
Marbella.
horsepower, I think.
Yeah. That looks like quite a new bilge pump you got down there. Got your 2 batteries. They look like in good condition.
Mm-hmm.
So because these batteries are charging, the older batteries, you've got to be careful if they start to warp and disform. So as soon as that starts to happen, you want to change them. But they look pretty good. you do the checks, when you're checking the drive belts, just rotate the belt, okay? And ideally, you don't want it to rotate more than 90 degrees. So that's a good tension. If it's too loose, it'll continue rotating more. Okay, so you're on the top end here. Can you see there?
Yeah.
On the top of the oil looks good. So if you ever find that the oil looks a bit creamy, you got big problems. It means there's water in your oil. Okay, that's happened to us before. So that oil looks good, nice and clean, good level. Happy with that. You know, the other thing what I'm always doing is visual and also odor. So you always want to be smelling as well. So you smell like heavy smells of petrol.
Okay.
You got to be quite concerned.
Yeah.
Because if you're sparking up the starter motor, big chance is going to go boom.
Don't really want that, do we?
No. I'm happy with that. And then you've got your coolant level here. That's in the mid-range. That's pretty good. God, it's so nice to see one of these engines again.
They're a good engine, so I believe. A strong engine.
Yeah. And you got your hydraulics here, so that'll be probably for your trim tabs. And I guess, is this electric or is this hydraulic, this thing? Electric.
Electric,
yeah,
it runs on a pivot.
Yeah. That's a container there, that's your sewage tank there. Let's pass the camera. That's a black water tank there. And this here will be the main fuel tank. And that looks like it's the fresh water tank over there.
That's right,
Am I right? Yeah. And there's the white pipe there, is the blower pipe, which extracts the fan, that extracts any fumes in this compartment. Very important to put the blowers on for 2-3 minutes before starting petrol engines. You know, she looks really good, huh? Be well looked after. There's no signs of corrosion or heavy rust, anything like that. Considering, how old is she? 19 years old, this boat.
Yeah, 2003.
2003.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good, very nice. Okay, so let's go through a few safety things. So obviously, if you're going to go on like you want to take this boat to say on Tebe.
Yeah.
Okay, so in all cases, what you want to do is prepare for the worst. Always prepare for the worst.
I can understand that, yeah.
So things like monitoring your weather forecast, this is outside stuff, you know, monitoring your weather forecasting, okay? Booking in advance the ports you need to stay in, okay? As you're going along, if you come across unexpected weather, you need to have safe havens. So you know that for each leg of a journey, say that you're going from one port to another, say it's a 100-mile journey, there could be 3 or 4 ports between there. So before you leave, make sure you know which ports you can go into, and make sure they have high availability as well, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your job as the captain, you've got 3 responsibilities: to ensure the safety of life on board, ensure the safety of your vessel, and ensure the safety of the marine environment. That's every captain's responsibility, 3 things. And from there, there's obviously all subcategories, right? Those are the main 3 things.
Yeah.
So if you feel your vessel's in danger, you got to do everything in your ability to get out of that danger.
Right.
Of course
So
you do.
you're going in. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm bringing the boat.
You're going in, you have to.
Okay.
You know. Okay, so pre-planning the trip. Obviously, the time of year is very important, because obviously, you know, some of the weather's going to be a bit nicer. Departure times are important. So I always prefer, in general, leaving early hours in the morning at sunrise. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say even if you're doing a 4-6 hour day of cruising, so you get there, so you leave at 6 a.m, you get there by 12, you'd rather do that than leave at 12, plan to get somewhere at 6. The reason being is because along that journey, if you have an issue, an engine breakdown, mechanical issue, electrical issue, where you can't operate the boat, you have more hours in the day to get the issue solved.
You can rectify it.
You can rectify
continue.
it, exactly.
Okay.
So if you leave later on, and you think, okay, when you arrive just at sunset, if you have an issue, you know, before you know it, the sun's going to be down, and you've got an issue on board and it's night time.
Right, okay.
And naturally, people become a bit more scared at night, you know, make bad decisions. So always think about that. So when we do a big journey, we always want to leave first thing in the morning. The other thing I always stress, as much as you can, keep your tanks pressed full. Always.
Okay.
Fuel tanks full, water tanks full. I know you're going to say, but it's more weight, more fuel consumption. But from a safety point of view, you want to have full tanks always.
Everything.
In case there's something happened, you need to turn around, this, that, and the other. You've got a safety amount of fuel. The other thing as well, by having pressed tanks, whether it be your water, fuel, whatever else you might have on board, the tanks are always at the very bottom of the boat. So the more weight you have at the bottom of the boat, the more stable the boat's going to be. Okay, so you're lowering the center of gravity. All these small things, again, it's all small things. This increase your chances. Okay. Now, as for safety equipment, you've got your life jackets.
Yeah.
Make sure you have life jackets for everybody on board. They normally say you should have 110% of life jackets.
Which means?
Which means, so let's say you have 10 people on board, you should have 11 life jackets.
Okay.
Okay, because it might, a buckle might fail, something might fail, whatever it might be, the light might have broken, anything like that. The next thing, you don't have any life raft in this boat, do you?
No.
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 Okay. So that's, again, I guess your insurance company don't require it. Again, if anything does happen, you've got no backup. The life raft is they say, you should, the last scenario should be abandoning the boat. But if you guys abandon the boat, you're going into the water.
Yeah.
Even with a life jacket on, in the summer, it's still only a number of hours before they can start getting hypothermia. Because normally, if you reach under, body temperature 34 degrees, 35 degrees under, you're going to get into hypothermia, and the water's not going to be 30 degrees, it's going to be 23, 24 degrees. Fire. You've got a fire on board. Do you have extinguishers?
Yes.
There's one here.
So these are powder.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're stored for a long time like this or like this, it all settles to the bottom. Okay, so once every few weeks or every time you come use a boat, just move the extinguisher around like this.
Never done that before.
Yeah, always do that as well. And then before you go and fight the fire, you do a little tester first to make sure it's working. Okay, now the downfall with powder, okay, is it's extremely messy. So if you've got a small little fire, you use this, the cleanup is an absolute nightmare. So
Are these the ones that explode? When you put them on, they just go everywhere.
Powder everywhere, white powder
Like
everywhere.
foam.
Okay.
Sorry?
Is it like a foam?
No, it's a powder.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a white powder that's very fine, and it gets in. It'll get into like the nooks and crannies, and to clean it is an absolute nightmare. So what I would say, if you've got like a galley fire, if you can, depending on the circumstances, use a fire blanket.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're using the fire blanket, again, be careful. Make sure you're protecting your hands. So you wrap the blanket around your hands, and put the fire in front of you, the blanket in front of you, and just place it over. Okay, and just leave it there. The big mistake people make is after a minute, 2 or 3, say there's an oil fire, like oil pan fire, they take it off, and as soon as you give that thing air again, it reignites because the heat's still there and it can reignite again. So think about that. Think about that as well.
So the powder system is okay.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's the
worth
most
having
common.
on board.
Powder is probably the most common.
But would you have another one? Would you go
I'd
and have a
foam.
water
I
one?
would have foam on
Right,
board.
okay.
Yeah, foaming
It's
engine.
foam, yeah.
Yeah.
So for
foam's
me to
good.
go get a foam one and bring it
Yeah.
on board
Yeah.
is a good thing.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
would.
It's a
Foam,
simple
foam, powder.
no-brainer.
What we had in, because obviously these boats don't have fire suppression. There's no like high fog or sprinkler
Nothing.
system, which
Yeah.
obviously it's not going to happen. So this is going to be what your rescue is. The reality is, if you haven't caught the fire in the first few minutes, you're going to be in a lot of difficulty.
It would be down there. I should
Yeah.
think the heat would build up pretty quick.
Very
At what,
quick.
at
These
what
things are
point
fine.
would you say get off the boat?
If you've deployed the extinguisher, right, and you've emptied it and it hasn't put the fire out, you could try the neck extinguisher, but by then, get off the boat.
That's it.
Yeah?
Wow.
How else are you going to put it out?
Wow.
Obviously, if you're on port, you have access to the water hoses, but you got no fire hoses on board the boat. You got no BA suits on board the boat. These things, the difficulty is with these things, this material, when it burns, it's toxic. And if you're in there and that thing's on fire, with all the materials you got in there, varnishes, gel coat, fiberglass, carpets, upholstery, you're bringing that in.
That would go up in seconds.
Yeah, but also you're bringing it in, you're not going to be lasting very long in there.
Yeah.
Man overboard. I guess you got no. Do you have any life rings on this boat? No.
No.
So you got a man overboard. What I suggest you then do. Are your life jackets inflatable or
No.
they're already they got.
I think
foam
I've got
inside?
one which is inflatable.
So in that case, I just throw them a life jacket because at least they've got something to hold on to. In some cases, you can throw them fenders because fenders float. So if they're conscious, this is so they can hold.
It worries me out this on I never.
Sometimes
really
if they
thought
fall
about
overboard, they might bang their head when they fall overboard.
Absolutely.
You know.
But how do I get them on board? That's.
Well, with great difficulty.
I think we're going to do some training, son. I want you to lay in the water and see how I can get you out.
You wouldn't be able to. Mum is trained in that. I'm sure she did.
Not getting people in the boat.
No.
It's
I'm
just
trained.
try it one day of your anchor.
I'm gonna.
There's three of you on board. Just say, okay, you don't move.
Don't move.
And see if you
Don't
can
grab
bring them on board.
anything. Yeah.
You're going to be surprised. So as we said, let's go back to the pre-departures of your big trip. So you want to ensure you got, correct charts. So electronic charts, chart plotter. Check the GPS position is correct. You're not using paper charts on this boat, I presume.
I do use them, yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I find it quite good.
If you're using them, that's great. So then you can counter-reference them.
Yeah.
Which is always good to
Yeah.
do. Your VHF radio, make sure it's working. So the port here, do they have a?
They don't use it.
Okay.
They
So
don't.
you can just do a VHF test. Maybe just call up finger at a port. I guess it's channel 9 or 12. Saying just doing a radio check. How do you receive me? And normally it's a 1 to 5. 5 being very good, 1 being very bad.
Right. But you should do this on all boats. This is not just for the big yachts. You should run in the same way.
think all it is for the owners that it's your job as the owner captain to create a safety culture on board the boat. And all these things I'm telling you should just be natural. It should be done naturally. 99% of owners won't do it because they just think they want to get on their boat, start, go, have fun, which I completely get. What I'm doing, I'm teaching you, how to do it from what the professionals would do on the big super yachts, tankers, that kind of stuff. So, take it how you like, really. In an emergency, if you need to do a Mayday call, right? Do you know what you need to do? How to call a Mayday?
On the radio?
On the radio.
Yeah, so Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
Yeah.
Give them the name of the boat.
Yeah. How many times?
3 times.
Yeah.
I've never done this, luckily enough. So then I would look at giving them position, telling them how many people are on board. I think that's it. Is there anything more?
Yeah.
So,
So Mayday, 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 name of boat, name of boat, name of boat, position, X degrees north, X degrees east.
Explain to them what the danger is.
Yeah, 8 souls on board.
Yeah.
We are, engines have died and we're drifting towards the rocks. The vessel's in danger, or somebody on board's had a heart attack, and you say we require immediate assistance.
Right.
And then what will normally happen is the Coast Guard or the local emergency service will call you in VHF channel 16, confirm the name of the boat, and they'll confirm all the information that you've told them to make sure it's correct. And usually they'll tell you to switch to a different channel. Because obviously channel 16 is an emergency channel, so there could be other emergencies, so you don't want to keep the traffic plugged up on channel 16. And then they'll say, okay, go to channel 13 or whatever it might be, and then you communicate from there what to do.
Because I didn't know any of that.
So when you're giving information, never say position. Never say 325. Always single digits.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 5.
Yeah.
And if you know your Alpha, Bravo, Charlies, that's great. If you don't, do the best you can. A lot of these coast stations know that people on these boats aren't professional seafarers, but remain calm always. I know it's easier said than done, but by remaining calm and being precise, you're going to save time. Okay. When it's windy and all this is open, it can be quite hard to hear what's going on. So just bear in mind all these different things. So what we're going to do, first they're going to take the boat out, take it off the dock, go towards the entrance to the port. So they'll do a 180, bring the boat back in and dock it. I'm going to sit here quietly, just observing how Lee manoeuvres the boat, how he communicates with his crew, how he positions the boat, And just after that, my job then is to give small little pointers. There's not one big thing that can make you a great boat handler. It's a number of small things and getting into good habits. So guys, let's get straight into it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
So when we come back and grab the ground line, how are you going to pick it up and pass it to the front?
Yeah.
We've got to take these covers off, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So remember the wind's pushing you that way.
Yeah.
So you want to get, that's your safety zone, this is your danger zone, yeah?
Okay. So am I right now in theory, because the wind, easterly wind, yeah?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make it easier for me? Would that not line my boat if I kept my stern?
If you got your wind in the stern, it's the best scenario you can be in.
So it's not too bad then?
It's the perfect scenario, but I think it might be funneling a little bit down here coming onto your beam, but we'll see when we get in. But you'll have all your control of this boat is when your stern is into the wind. So if you ever find yourself in an awkward situation, you don't know what to do, stick your stern into the wind, okay? You know how going out, I said that area is a danger area?
Yeah.
Because if everything goes wrong, it's going to blow you onto that.
Right.
So that does start to happen. Don't bring your bow towards the wind, bring your stern towards the wind, reverse out. Okay. Because you rather, to be honest with you, if you are going to knock something, you much rather knock your bow than your drive system, your stern.
Absolutely.
You know, and then getting off, having your stern into the wind is the best scenario. Try and keep always one hand on the wheel, one hand on the throttle when you're manoeuvring. You can. You're coming too far forward. You want to aim more towards the range boat. So go stern, get straight. So start in the wheel, turn to port on the wheel, other way, other port. They're in neutral. Yeah. So you've got to remember the wind's blowing from there, so don't be too afraid getting too close to this boat. You're good. So now turn to starboard, other way. And then, no, astern. Neutral, a bit more. Neutral, there we go, now we're coming around now. Remember, always keep one hand on the wheel, one hand on the throttle. A bit more astern. Neutral, okay, straight up the wheel. And astern. Neutral. Bow in a little bit.
The lifesaver.
If it's there.
Yeah. Okay, just push off there a little bit because that boat's swinging around, so it's not your fault. That's the boat swinging towards us. Okay, we are go stern a bit. Cool. Neutral. Lovely. Okay, bow thrusters to starboard. Yeah. Neutral. There we go.
That thrusters coming on there.
Cool. Now come stern a little bit. Neutral. Okay, now you want to turn to starboard, yeah, and then kick it ahead, touch ahead, forward. Neutral. A bit more. Neutral. Now light straight up the wheel. Losing a bit. And the stern. We're kind of losing a little bit here. What we'll do is go out and start again, so go forward. Neutral. Good. So remember, you keep putting two hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get that out of your head. Always one hand, because it's going to be steer, in gear, neutral. Steer, in gear, neutral. So how do you guys feel that went?
Not as bad as I thought it would
I
have.
don't think it went too bad.
I was
Think
surprised
you could,
how good you're good at it. Okay. The first observation, the big mistake a lot of people make, is you correctly always had one hand on the throttle and one hand on the steering wheel.
Okay.
A big mistake a lot of people make is they'll put it in gear and then have two hands and they panic and they do this.
Right.
Always keep one hand when you're
Which
docking.
I have done in the past.
Yeah. So that's very good observation. So you're always using one hand to steer, one hand on the throttle.
Okay.
The other thing I think what you need to do as the captain is be very precise exactly what you want.
Okay.
So when you say get the ropes in the back, I would normally say, right, I want that port stern line first. Why?
Right.
The wind's coming from there.
Yeah.
Once you got that port stern line on,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about the starboard stern line. My biggest concern would be to control the bow. The
Okay.
stern's already controlled.
Right. So get that one on.
Yeah. Because like I said, you you got the propeller at the back there.
Yeah.
Okay, just imagine you haven't got bow thruster. You got total control of the back of the boat.
Yeah.
If the bow starts to go, luckily you save the bow thruster, you got to go out and start again. Unless you pull up the ground line in time. Yeah. So what I would do in this situation with this wind is I would say to us, right, get that stern line on first and immediately grab the bow line. Because once that's pulled up tight, the wind's coming from here.
You're on.
You're on.
Okay, never done that before, but I will do that from now on.
Yeah.
One line on, get front on.
Front on. Neutral, lovely. Let's leave it there. Fantastic. No bow thruster. Now hard starboard and a stern. Leaving gear. So what you do, then reverse it all the way to that berth that your dad went in that last go, yeah?
Gonna go stern all the way back.
Yeah.
Keep going. That's it, she's swinging now.
Put those lines on if you want.
Can you just kick me back one? Just a bit, thank you. Thank you, she's coming.
You did really well there. You're just unlucky you just came swinging out.
Yeah.
But do you see what you're doing? Because you had the wind coming there, because you aimed more towards that way, and then last minute swinging around, you used the speed and the momentum to bring the bow around.
Yeah.
And then once you came and you stopped, what basically happened is you bounced into this guy and the wind took his nose, and they kind of went. But if he was like normal, not moving around, you would ace that. But you see when it's windier,
The wind changes, doesn't
yeah,
it?
so when it's calm, right, what you're doing when you're maneuvering the boat is like in gear, out gear. The slower the better. Because you take your time and you do it slowly, you do it cooler and the chicks dig it. The move was perfect, and what basically happened as we came in, this guy started swinging,
Yeah.
and when you stop, the moment you stop and you got no more momentum, as soon as the wind catches, it goes. And you always make sure you know which angle your steering is at. But what he was doing, because he's got the wind coming down here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is in a normal situation when there's no wind, you'll be in gear, out gear, slowly in gear, out gear, and you aiming for the berth.
This is
In
why
this
you
situation-
kept the speed going.
In this situation, you want the momentum.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you have momentum, you can't bring the bow around. Okay?
Yeah.
And I said to him, keep aiming for this boat.
Yeah.
Because he was aiming for the berth, he would have been down here somewhere.
Yeah.
So you saw, he kept coming around, and then straightened up, aimed more towards him. And unfortunately, as we came in, he just kind of swung out.
Yeah.
But that was, apart from that, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because stern into the wind?
Yeah.
Again, if we had the nose, we can try it afterwards if you want. If you have the nose into the wind, and you try and come around this berth, as soon as you feel that momentum coming around, it's going to be very hard, unless you're using a thruster, for that momentum to stop.
Yeah.
Whereas you're coming with stern into the wind, you've got the wind coming here, you're using momentum, the wind's slowing you down.
Yeah.
So you're getting like, you're countering it in
Yeah.
a sense. So you come around, straight into the berth. Gents,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Every second.
Yeah, well,
Even when it
from,
rains.
From boaters to yacht masters, what do you reckon? There's a lot of hesitation there.
More confident. Definitely more confident.
I think from the first moment, that first day, you know, when you came aboard, I noticed already you've been driving a boat for a long time. I could tell the way you were using the stick and the wheel. You're a natural, for sure. Although I think today you got a little bit confused, but yeah, I think yesterday you performed better than you did today, even though the weather was better today. I don't know why. Maybe.
Is it the overconfident bit?
No,
Well, maybe you put your-
you got confused at once or twice. You were turning the wrong way.
I felt like even though the weather's nicer today, that the water was still running quicker today. I may be wrong, but I felt like there was a more
still a lot of maybe a movement as
Yeah.
well.
I think the boats
Or
going.
swaying a lot.
Yes.
That confused me big time.
Yeah, that tight one that we did, that was.
Yeah, you're doing so well, and then you put it
Yeah,
forward.
I don't know
Why is it going forward?
Yeah. But I am
still-
a massive beginner.
Yeah, but you did. No, exactly, but you did really
But still
well.
in control.
I've never.
Still, he didn't panic.
I've never been. I don't even think I've ever driven in a port at all.
There you go.
No, yeah.
So it's.
So what in the last 2 days? What's the thing that stood out the most that I would say surprised you, or that you felt that was, you learnt something very important?
I learned something on every angle. There's not one thing. The whole package of me coming back out of this is, when I say I'm confident because you've explained the safety side of it, which is obviously very important to me if I have somebody on the boat. So I know now what I need to do to achieve that. And that's going to be done before anybody goes out on the boat. Driving wise, I think the biggest thing that they told me is, if it don't go right, forget it.
That was
Go
me
out.
as well.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Go round, turn
Start
round,
again.
come back again, because it never goes right forward. The wind can change,
In a
the
moment's
weather can
notice.
change. So the biggest thing for me, confidence. My knowledge is more, and that's what I need.
You're more relaxed now
Yeah,
because you know you can go out and start again.
yeah. It's a big thing,
You
is
know.
that.
Yeah.
It's
And we were
struggling.
out in some not nice weather, right?
Yeah, I know.
Which is good, which is what we wanted to do, is practice. And now when there's no wind at all, you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be laughing, like,
Spinning it round in
yeah,
a
exactly.
circle.
Like, watch.
And believe me, I will be trying to spin
Yeah.
it round in a circle.
Reese will be hoping the chicas are watching. What's happening here?
Absolutely.
Normally when you muck it up.
It's when I take it without your knowledge.
I-
Joyride days.
Yeah. I think
Get my hot wiring kit out.
I need to go further now. I've got longer now. Where before I went, yeah, I've got my license up to this is
Yeah.
okay, and everything else.
Never stop
coming
learning.
along,
Yeah.
I said, no, hang on a minute, you're not there. There's more you need to do. And if I ever decide, and at the moment I don't, but if I ever decide to go for a bigger boat, I need some more knowledge.
Yeah.
So that I need to go forward. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Pleasure.
I've honestly really enjoyed it, and yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, boys. To the,
Good luck to the next person.
yeah, to the YachtMaster. Right, so we've come to an end on our first leg of the journey of the YachtMaster series. Honestly, I'm really proud of Lee and Reese. I think they've come a long way in the short period that we spent together on board that mighty Rinker 27. The important thing to remember, with boat owners, owner-operators, the trickiest thing for most of you is coming into port and docking, especially if it's windy. Now, if you're coming into your berth and you find the vessel isn't in the position you want it to be, that it's not really going right, there's nothing wrong to go out and start again. Take your time. The other thing that I found was really important that a lot of people miss is being prepped before you go into your berth. So ensuring your fender's in the correct position, communicate with your crew. Your crew could be your friends, your family, any guests you may have on board, and tell them exactly what you want. Don't assume they know what you want, okay? So ensure when you're positioning the boat, everybody's safe, take your time. If you're on a single stern drive, always keep one hand on the wheel, one hand on the throttle. Little touches, little touches. Yes, when it's a bit windy, you need to keep the throttle engaged in gear for a lot longer. But on calm days, take as much time as you need. That old classic saying, slow is pro. Now, moving forward, pre-departures. Being prepared for the worst will give you, as a boat operator, less anxiety because you are responsible for everybody on board the boat. Even though you might not be a professional captain, you are the captain on board that boat. It could be a 20-footer, it could be a 200-footer. You are responsible for the people on board. And what comes with safety is preparation.
be prepared. Check the weather forecast, know your limits. If you think it's going to be a bit windy, then just don't go out. Guys, again, thank you for watching this first episode of the YachtMaster. Be sure to check out episode 2. It will appear here after 7 days of this video being released. If it's not here yet, it means it hasn't been released. Guys, see you on the next episode.